Remember, you and only you have been put on this earth to fulfill a certain purpose. There will never be another you. So own your choices, own your actions, and ultimately, please own your happiness. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another episode of a Moral Dilemma podcast, the one and only show where you can discuss anything unfiltered, things that worry us, things that concern us. So let's get started. What's today's topic going to be about? It's going to be about insecurity. So insecurity is basically a feeling of inadequacy or uncertainty or that constant need to please everyone around you. It can feel like a living hell, and I'm sure everybody watching this and people you know have dealt with insecurity at least once in their life. So where does insecurity actually come from? Sometimes it can start very early on in your life. So for example, growing up, we have a lot of pressure around us, not just from society, but from our parents, our families. You need to study this much by a certain age, you need to get a job by the time you're 23, 24, you need to buy a house by the time you're 26, 27. These pressures keep building on, and when we fail to hit one of these pressures, that's it, we're insecure. And we've got feelings of insecurity, and toxic traits start to build up, such as jealousy and envy and just malicious intent behavior. Another place insecurity can also come from is having a broken family, or having, this toxic trait of wanting to please people and what will people say. This is something that we've seen in many families of different walks of life, especially like talking personally, I can say from South Asian people, because I'm actually South Asian myself. And growing up, we've seen that our families will do everything just to make sure people think of them in a positive way. Just look at Asian weddings, for example. You spend all the money in the world. You've got the fanciest cars, the biggest luxurious venues. You've got dancers, you've got drummers, everything, the whole lot. 80, 90 grand has gone just on a wedding. And who's it to impress? People you don't even like. So this is an issue. Like, it starts from insecurity. And because of insecurity, these problems happen. If we believed that we're already good enough, we don't need to prove our point to people, we don't need to prove our worth to people, then we wouldn't see the need to spend this much money for the wrong reasons. And, of course, you'd be a fool not to want people to like you. Everybody wants people to like them. We want to be lovable people. But there's a fine line between wanting to please people and wanting people to like you. Wanting people to like you, there's nothing wrong with it. It can work in your favor sometimes. You can build good connections. You can network, and they can positively impact you and your work through your whole life. But not at the cost of going against your values, going against your religion, or hindering your future and your progress in your later years. So where do we see insecurity most prominently nowadays? One of the big places we see insecurity is on social media. And when I say on social media, I don't actually mean we see it on our, For You page or something. I mean, we see how social media makes people insecure. So, I was just listening to a video the other day about, I think it was Elon Musk. He was talking to someone, and they were asking him about Instagram and social media and whatnot. And he was saying, I scroll on Instagram, and I think it's one of the most, toxic places out there, because it goes, people capture their lives at the happiest and best looking moments. And then they take these photos and videos, and they enhance them and make them look even better. And if you're a person who's just average, and you're scrolling through your phone, and you see this, this person looking 10 out of 10, and they've got all the money in the world, they've got the nicest car, they're very successful, and they always look happy. You look at that and you think, what, then my life sucks, because this guy's always happy and he's looking good, and he's got everything. And then that starts crawling into you as insecurity, and then you start building up self-pity and start feeling sorry for yourself. And then what happens? It halts your progress in life, and that's where the danger starts. So, and 10 times out of 10, the people who look the happiest on social media, the people who are always bragging about, I've got so much money, I'm doing this, I'm cashing this, I've got 100,000 here, 10,000, 50,000, whatever the amount, are usually the people who ain't doing shit. I'll be honest with you. And the people who are constantly, just working, they're quiet, they'll ask about you first. They'll say, how's business going? How's gym going? How's this going, that going? They won't expect you to ask about them. They're usually the people who are actually crushing it in life. So the need to express to people that, I'm actually doing this or I'm actually doing that, is a massive red flag. Yeah, and that red flag has got a name on it, and it's called insecurity. So please, when you're out there, when you see people talking, when you see people push that information on you that I'm doing this well, I'm doing that well, or I've got this much money, etc., remember that and don't react to it, because once you react to it, that's what they want. They want to argue on it, they want to talk about it more, and it builds their fake ego inside them. So the best way to react to it is, that's really good, man, and well done, like to a kid. How do you speak to a kid? So you just give them responses like, keep it up, and that's it. And the moment an insecure person sees a confident person in the room who is happy to be in that room, who's happy to not discuss every single success of their life, that person will not be able to take it. They will break down physically and mentally. And I've seen this before as well. I've met many insecure people who, to the rest of the world, they're like, I'm this and I'm that, and no one's better than me, and they put this themselves up on a pedestal. And the moment you show them one sign of maturity or confidence, they break down, and it's a very sad thing to see. And I really hope that it doesn't happen to any of us. So please work on your insecurity if you do have them, and I will I'll get into that a little bit later into the episode. So another place we see insecurity is in relationships. For example, if you've got, a couple partners and one of them expects the other to constantly keep them buttered up with, compliments every day, and that's the only way that they're going to be able to live, then it'll just completely wear the other person out. They'll spend their full time walking on eggshells, and that can lead to several problems that we've seen, like divorce rates are sky high and whatnot. So I don't really need to get into that, but it is a massive issue nowadays of relationships and how insecurity in relationships starts from a lot of hiding, a lot of lying, and then it, just dishonesty builds up to people feeling insecure because they know certain things about themselves that if other people knew, they'd be disgusted. So this is where it happens in relationships, but relationships is a bit exclusive because of the whole context of it. But yeah, relationships is another big one. So don't get me wrong, we all need gratification. We all need people to appreciate us and tell us, you know what, you're doing really well. And it's amazing how much motivation does for us. It pushes us through the next day. But the problem is where you start needing it. You start saying to yourself that I can't continue another day. I can't do another day at gym. I can't do another day at work until someone tells me that you've been doing this well. Until someone says well done to me, I can't move on. That's where the problems start. So yes, motivation is good. Having gratification from people is good, but not to the point where you not to the point where you find it necessary to continue in life. And the issue nowadays is that people expect success and progress and motivation from people. They'll run to the nearest person for help, but they forget that there's something like whatever you believe in. Where are the good old days where people work hard and they just pray and they leave everything to God? And nowadays the problem is that we're looking for solutions in people. We're looking for God-given solutions in people, and that's why we'll never be happy, because we're looking for the wrong things in the wrong places. So the way to fix this is really by thinking about where you need to improve, accepting it that, this is not an insecurity, it's somewhere I can progress, and then start working hard. That's all it is. So let's quickly move on to how do you use insecurity to your advantage. How can we work on it? And I'm sure you want to hear this part, because honestly, when I first made this, like when I started recording this episode, a little bit of insecurity creeped up in me as well, saying, you know what, is this video actually going to do anything? Are people going to actually watch it? Then I thought to myself, hang on a second, why are you doing it then? Like, you know what, shut everything down and stop doing it. But then you know what, I thought, I don't need to prove myself to people. I'm here to spread information, to spread positive information, and try to even help one person. That's my intention. So I don't need to, tell people, please watch this or do that. It's not about that, and that's why it's very important to have your intention right in the first place, what you're doing it for. And I'm still working on this myself. I'm not completely perfect. I really want to be in a position where I don't care about what people say, and I think it's a very powerful position to be in. Let me tell you quickly that nobody is truly free until they're free from the need of trying to impress other people, and I want you to take that away with you. So how do we work on insecurity? I'll quickly go through a few points. So number one is about social media. If you're easily triggered by, people doing well on social media, and showing the positivity only in their life, then maybe spend less time on social media, or follow certain influencers or pages or, channels that spread positivity and spread, more useful information and value. Just like Malcolm X famously said, envy blinds men and makes it impossible for them to think clearly. It's a very powerful statement, because we can see, especially in this day and age, that jealousy is rife and it causes massive problems. Number two is to focus on progress, work, relationships, hobbies, keeping fit, going to the gym, etc. It can be anything. So reaching like small milestones, saying by the end of this week, I'm gonna, do 50 push-ups instead of 20. That's a small milestone, but it's something for you to look forward to and something to motivate you. Instead of somebody telling you that I know you can do this, you've told yourself that, and you physically you've made it something tangible. You've made it an actual reachable target. The next one is to not expect compliments from people. I'm really sorry to say this. I know it sounds really harsh, but we need to give ourselves a little smack and wake up, because nobody's going to compliment you nowadays, unless it's your mum, of course. But you have to remember that in this, terrible world, unfortunately, that we live in, everything is about, constant and instant gratification. People just want to be told there and then that you've done something well. So tell yourself that. Don't expect it from people, and keep your expectations low, because keeping them high leads to disappointments. The next thing is, and this is obviously subjective to the person listening, but whatever you believe in, actually pray for what you want. I have a religion, I'm a Muslim, and I will pray to my God for what I want. But at the same time, I'll also work hard and ensure that I do my part before asking God. And that's how I think it goes hand in hand. It's a healthy balance. Next one, moving on, is, and I really like this one, and I've done it before, and honestly, please try this one. It's every day do something small that scares you a bit. So I'll give you an example. When I was in, like high school, like year 7 or year 8 or something, and there was a group of boys that I was scared to walk past, because I don't know, they were like, quite thuggy and, streetwise and stuff. And I wasn't really like mixing as part of that group. And I thought to myself, you know what, there's another way to go home. I'll just go that way. And then I thought to myself, you know what, I need to work. And even from that age, I was realizing that, no, I can't grow up with these problems, because, boys turn into men, but habits stay the same. So I thought, I need to deal with this right now. So one day I just thought, it's not about being brave or about thinking you're tough. Let me walk through them, boys, and see what happens. Not ask for a fight, but just walk through them, boys. So finally built up the courage one day, and I've walked up that way and nothing happened. But I went home realizing that, you know what, I actually did something for myself. It wasn't about walking past a group of boys. It was about me proving myself to me only and nobody else. So please remember that every day do something small that scares you, whether it's talking to someone you like, whether it's walking past a group of people, whether it's going to the gym and because you're too scared to go because of what you look like. Do something that scares you, please. Next one quickly is positive company. Surround yourself with people who are energetic and who motivate you. Talk about ideas, not other people. No, they don't waste time, backbiting or slandering people. They are positive and they're actually doing something with their life, because this will 100% motivate you to continue. And finally, remember that you are good enough. Remember, you and only you have been put on this earth to fulfill a certain purpose. There will never be another you. So own your choices, own your actions, and ultimately, please own your happiness and stop caring about what other people think. So, wrapping the episode up, we all know what insecurity is. It affects a lot of us, unfortunately, and it can lead to other toxic and unlikable traits. And we need to really work on this idea of not doing things for people and actually owning our own intentions, our own actions, and being happy for who we are. And the way we can do that is by constantly moving forward. Focus on progress and focus on family and love. And honestly, it will positively impact you, I promise you. Don't sit for too long on your thoughts and let them become problems. Keep moving forward. So make insecurity into a good thing, and you will see your true talents and true gifts come to play, and you will see success, I promise you. So having said all this, thank you very much, guys, for staying in this episode up until this point. I really do appreciate you guys watching and listening. If you do have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I promise I will answer and respond to everybody. And if you did enjoy watching and listening, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next A Moral Dilemma podcast. Take care now, guys.